So here's my home screen with a picture of my beautiful wife. These are all my little folders where I organize my stuff. Up here in utility, I'm going to touch this with my finger. That's one thing you can't see about this. You can't see where my finger's touching. I'm going to click on literal word. It's going to open up. Now this is an NASB 1995 only app, but it's really cool. It's going to open to the last place you were at. And we're going to go over some stuff right here. The first thing is up at the top where it says Mark 14. That's where we're looking in here. I'm going to touch that with my finger and it's going to open the side. This is where you find your books and your verses. So you see here, it's on the left, it says Mark 14. It's highlighted. That's where I'm at. If I want to go to like Luke 21, I hit the little arrow next to Luke. It's going to drop down. Can then hit 21. Let's just say verse 13. There you go. It's right there at the top of the page. I'm going to click on that again where it said Luke 21 just to open the side thing again. And you can actually see how fast you can do this. If I want to go to like Matthew 24, boom, Matthew 24, 1, bam, there you go. So it's very fast. When a pastor is talking in church, you can follow really quick. If they go, let's go to 1 Peter 1, 3 or whatever, you just go, bam, there you are. And he's like, keep your finger there and let's go here. You can just go boom, boom. It's so fast. So let's go back because I'm going to show the one thing that I do not like about this app since we're in this area. So one of the things you're going to notice how mine is set up is if I go to Matthew and I scroll up, I want to go past Matthew. You know, I want to go to Old Testament. You can't. I have to then re-hit the arrow for Old Testament to open that up and then scroll back. So like if I wanted Malachi right there, let's say I'm in Matthew and I want to scroll back to Malachi, I can't. I have to reopen Old Testament and then scroll all the way back down. However, if you notice right here where it says books of the Bible, it's separated. Mine's highlighted with what looks like an equals symbol. If you turn that the other direction, click it, I'll show you. I'm going to touch that right now. So it's side by side now. So now, because I have Hebrews open, that's what's highlighted, it's open. But as you scroll down, you have the entire Old Testament on the left and the entire New Testament on the right. So now you don't have to do that. You can go to like Ruth real quick, or you can go to Colossians right after that. You can do this very, very quickly. So you have the whole Old Testament and New Testament laid out right here. So now I'm back in Mark 13 at the end, going into 14 right here. And you can just keep scrolling however you want. But I want to show how you can highlight, how you can take notes and all kinds of things. So what you can't see, I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to touch where it says now, which is the first word of the verse. Or as you can see in verse 3, if I just click on came a woman right here, there came a woman, I just click on it, it's going to highlight the entire verse. I'm going to click out of that for a second. So I just clicked on verse 1, and you can see next to the word now up at the top, there's a little A. And then you drop down to the bottom here where it says A. Those are the two cross references for that verse. Then there's also a letter B next to the. And then down at the bottom you can see the B. Those are cross references, and so on. You can see the C. So I'm going to hit X for a second. So those are all your cross references. Now let's do it again. I'm going to click on this. Let's say I want to highlight it. I'm going to go down to the bottom and hit highlight. You could choose a color, let's say yellow, and it's highlighted. You're done. But now you can also click on it again, and down at the bottom where it says note, you hit note. You could write a note in here. I'm just going to put like Mark verse 1 and then hit save. So now up at the very top where it says now, let me click out of this to show, you'll see a 1 in a circle. That's a note. So it's telling you wrote a note there and you highlighted it in yellow. So now let's go back. I'm hitting the three menu, going back to the menu, the three things at the top. So we're going to open that up. We're going to hit highlights for a second. Now at the very top, you're going to see all the different colors. Now I use yellow for basic stuff, red for doctrinal stuff. I can't remember what green and the rest of them are for. But that's how many of each one. I have 93 yellow highlights somewhere in here and 35 red highlights. And it also tells you right under that where are the majority. So I got 56 in the Pauline epistles, 43 general epistles, 7, in the Old Testament over there, 1 in the Pentateuch. So In the middle, it says sort by passage. I like to keep that on so that it's in order down here of the Bible books. It's easier if you know the Bible to just do it that way. At the same time, in those colored circles at the top, you can click on those. So if I want to see all my yellow ones only, there they are. Now there's a green one inside the yellow one inside of it as well, so it's going to show that. It's going to show all of your yellow highlights. And this is the one we just highlighted right here in the middle of the screen, Mark 14:1. So it went into the yellow. So I'm going to go back for a second here and go back to this screen. If I hit the red ones, those are all my doctrinal ones like pre, mid, or post, once saved, always saved. And those are all the ones I consider very, very important to read, you know, to refute people with. So I'm going to go back again. We're going to hit notes. These are all the notes that I have taken, and it's still sort by passage, so it's in order. And you'll see where we did Mark 14:1 right here. It says context. Then it says note, Mark verse 1. That's what we read. So now let's say you want to undo all of that. You can hit note, and you can just hit delete. It deletes that note. But how do you unhighlight? Because you can go in here and change this to blue. Click it again. You could click it to purple. If you click it and hit the black one, it's actually not black. It's an empty white square is what that is. You hit that and it just unhighlighted it. So it's very fast. If you wanted to go, I just clicked on the Mark 14 at the top and opened up the side. If you wanted to go to like Revelation 1:1, highlight in yellow, and let's put a note, Rev 1. See how fast that really is. It's so awesome. And if you want to do copy and paste, like you're online and you're on your phone in a YouTube chat or something, you can do this very quickly by clicking each one and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy 4 down at the bottom, and then you can just go wherever we hit paste. And verse 1 through 4 will go right in there, just like that. The other cool thing you can do is while you're reading this, you know, you can click on stuff, highlight it, whatever. But what you can do is if you touch a word and then hold your finger there, the Greek will pull up at the bottom and give you a definition. So let's just say Passover. It's an easy one. It opens up the Greek at the bottom. It's called Pascha, the festival of the Passover. The Paschal Supper. That's pretty cool. And you can do this, you can't do it with every word, like the and, you know, stuff like that. But like reclining right here, we can click on that. Whatever that says, I can't even pronounce it. To lie down, to recline, that's what the actual word is. So it gives you all those cool things that open up. Just hit the X. So all I'm doing is I'm going to find a word like this, eating. I'm going to touch it with my finger and hold it, and then the Greek will open for that. And that word actually means to eat. But it'll give you all the different definitions, like it means this, but it could possibly be this. It'll tell you all the different definitions. So we're sitting here looking at Revelation 1, and I wanted to show how, you know how some people like to have larger print or smaller print? This works exactly how a map does if you've ever used a map on your phone. I'm going to take 2 of my fingers, I'm going to push them on the screen and push them toward each other. It'll make the words very small. You can also put both your fingers on the screen and spread them apart and make it really big. So I love this feature because I'm an old blind man. But I really do love this feature because you could just put it on whatever size you want that's comfortable for you. It's really awesome. So that's a basic way of how to use literal word. And I hope that helps. If there's any questions other than beyond here, that's the basic usage that I know how to do. I don't know how to do anything else because that's all I do with it is I read it, I take notes, and I highlight things. So if there's any questions beyond that, I'm not sure I can even answer them, but I hope that this helped in some way.